Morning. I keep meaning um, to talk to you, but I'm sorry I don't have my teeth in, so I have extra wrinkles, and now I look really old. Isn't this cool? I want you to all know that all these measures that you are taking to slow down the spread of this disease, or maybe even stop it in your area, um, if you all stay at home, you'll be like a bubble and you won't catch it and it'll go right by. But anyway, I appreciate as a old looking person who didn't put her teeth in and whose jaws now go too close together. Anyway, as an old person, I wanted just to say to you, thank you. Thank you for doing this so that our parents and I guess they're gone. My grandparents are gone. My parents are gone. My brother's gone. My relatives. We're next. It's so weird to be next. I mean, like, huh? What? What are you talking about? Don't interrupt my life. What's all this getting old stuff about? It's only on the outside, you know? It really, it's amazing that it's only on the outside. Why is it doing that thing it does when I turn it over? I had it turned over like that to begin with. Now it has this device orientation locked. So, anyway, I was thinking, people poo poo my relationship with Jesus Christ, I think I'll cover up my mouth. Um, some people, unless you can't read it, see it without I would lip read too, so I would understand. But, what was I going to say? I know I was on lip reading, but that's not what I was going to say. Look, it's getting starting to get light out. Oh yeah, I was going to say thank you for slowing down this virus because the old people will all die. Well, not all, 10%, or no, I guess it's 3%, 3.4% of old people die because it's only old people that die, except the odd child. And immunocompromised people. I think a lot of us are immunocompromised, but anyway, 3.4%, which is mostly old people. Anyway, I know that I've heard, oh yeah, my faith, that's what I was going to tell you about. I wanted to say two things. One thing is about people that poo poo the importance of not getting this virus. But they don't they don't maybe realize that they are probably going to get sick. And um, the places that they go to eat, like dinner, if they happen to live in a place like China or Vietnam or somewhere, and the people around, I'm talking about my son, right? But the people that have all these little markets, little shops along the roads, they're old people. Often they're old people. Places where there's no safety net, like after you retire, you don't go to work anymore. And even around here, there's a lot of people that don't have a pension, that have no hope of stopping work. They're going to always have to go to work. I sure hope they like their jobs. That's a terrible sort of a slavery, don't you think? It's an awful thing. But that's why if you love your work, love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. That's so important. Why you need to get an education. You need to figure out what's out there, really figure it out, find something you really like, and figure out how you can make that into a career. I don't know if it's possible. I'm I have so many things I love, and I could never possibly make a career out of any of them. So anyway, that's just theoretically speaking. Anyway, so if you live in a place like Vietnam and you're going to go have dinner and you go to the shop down the road and you have your whatever it's called, and it's run by, some people, because I would think the young people would get other kinds of jobs if possible, but those kind of jobs that don't take a whole lot of education or something, the older generation, those would be the thing. And if they don't have a safety net, like you get to stop after 65, then you're going to have a lot of those people are going to be old. And so a lot of them are going to be sick, and nobody is going to be making your dinner. Think about that. Where will you get dinner? I wonder. Hmm. Thinking about people in group homes and things who depend upon the social worker that comes and gets them their pills every day, and gets make sure they have meals. You know, I guess the Meals on Wheels programs and stuff. I got Meals on Wheels for my mom in Georgia for a while. They brought her a slice of white bread and a little, mostly like something that she could have microwaved, a frozen dinner or something. Her frozen dinners were better than what she was getting from that. And you still had to heat up what they gave you. She might as well have just been heating up her own thing. Anyway, that was just my moment about Meals on Wheels. There's a lot of vulnerable people. I have a friend on Facebook who, um, this is interesting. I have no views. Hmm. Oh, I have one viewer. Hello, viewer. I wondered if there was going to be anybody out there. Wondered why nobody was watching. Hmm. Not that there's ever met. Oh, look, two people are watching. Hello, hello. Oh, that was nice. It was a moment. I've been here for, 7 minutes, and I looked up and there was 0 and 0. Oh, no. Oh, my daughter says she loves me. Oh, that's good. Anyway, I'm rattling on. I was going to say, now that I know that somebody's, oh, no, only one, and one thumbs up. Look at that. Always going to say something. I never get around to saying it, do I? I don't know how you can stand watching these videos. I am all over the place, and when I watch it, it's like the most embarrassing thing ever to watch these videos. I just can't do it. My grandson likes to do it. He likes to watch them. Well, he likes to watch them if he's in them playing. Anyway, that's kind of neat. You know, during this coronavirus thing, do you not feel like it's like a worldwide holiday, like an international holiday where, like Christmas, right? Everybody goes home for Christmas, everybody who possibly can. And now, if you can't, well, the countries are bringing their people home. Everybody's coming home from everywhere, all over the world. And they don't have to go to work for a while. And most people are going to get paid to stay at home. Their companies are supposed to give them their regular paychecks and the government will pay them. Like, that's pretty cool that the government is going to keep the entire country working. That's going to cost a pretty penny. However, it's our money, right? Might as well give it back. So what I was going to say, it's amazing how long it takes me to something. And how much I like to talk, too. I can't believe how much I like to talk. It's very nice that Willem doesn't really care to talk too much. Except sometimes it would be nice to have an answer to something I'm saying, because he will allow me to just carry on. But then there are the times that I realize that He hasn't heard anything I've said for quite a while. He's gone somewhere else. But that's okay because if I really wanted an answer, I would give him, give him a moment to get a word in edgewise, which I'm not very good at doing, as we all know. It's much easier to just have me on in the background and then you can ignore what you don't feel like listening to. And you can pipe up when there's something you do want to listen to, right? That's what my husband does. He just has me on in the background. You know, I have this game, Wordscapes. My husband, I have to tell you about him. He's darling. He he's very intellectual, very smart, and so he watches on YouTube. You know, I watch whatever kind of stuff I watch, and he watches like math games, like math puzzles. Try and solve this puzzle. Good morning, Renee. Nice to see you. Um, anyway, I was just saying about Willem. So so he watches these math games, and he also watches conversational Spanish. So there'll be somebody that's telling telling something like telling a story, like relating all this stuff to somebody else, what happened, and he'll kind of talk and he'll say a few words, and then he'll sort of say it in a different way, and you hear the same kind of meaning a few times, you know, as and so he brings everybody along as you know, whatever you know and don't know, you can get by, and you're kind of learning because this also means this and this also means this, and so he watches that, and yesterday I told him that we're going to have church down at the stream because church is canceled all over the world. Isn't that amazing? Like one church, one decision, and millions, 16 million members or something, don't go to church on Sunday. Very strange. Big, worldwide, all over the whole world. You know, I was thinking, if you're really panicked and worried and stressed out about this whole thing going on, and I don't have toilet paper, I don't have fruit, I don't have whatever, you know, like just pretend you don't have a paycheck yet and you have to wait a few days to get it. Hello, Michelle Miller in Nashville. This is an amazing time we're in, isn't it? Hi, Bridget. Oh, my white hair is lovely. You know what? It turned white. It turned like it was always kind of this blonde, eh? But it turned, well, it wasn't always. It was strawberry blonde, and then this is like what has become after it was red. But now, in this autumn, uh, I went to Georgia and I had to deal with my mother's house and emptying it. And it's not like you think it is. If you haven't emptied your mother's house and sold it all, or gotten rid of it, or given it away, or whatever happens, if you haven't done that yet, there's an experience that you don't want to miss. It will turn your hair white, really will. It's quite the thing. Anyway, so I was going to say, now, if you're worried about this whole pandemic thing, now we all know this not really going to hurt many people. It's going to hurt the elderly or the people who have immunized, compromised, whatever system. So not everybody really needs to go out and stock up on cold medication, right? Like if you don't usually take medication for the flu, you probably won't need it, and you probably won't need it all for your kids, probably. But if you're old, you might need it, right? You probably will need it. So those are the people that should probably get it if they can. But I would kind of warn against getting out anymore. Like, is anybody still going to grocery stores and all this stuff? Like, stay home, folks. Like, it's over. We should be self-isolating. I know, like, if you really don't, if you really need to and you're not ready, like, it is a big thing we're preparing for. I mean, when you go camping, you go shopping before you go camping, right? There's certain foods that you buy when you go shop camping that you don't buy the rest of the time. And so the grocery stores know that and they stock up ahead of time. And there's like lots of marshmallows and chocolate and s'mores and hot dogs and hot dog buns and ketchup and mustard and relish. You don't see all that stuff everywhere in the winter. But like everybody stocks up before they do this. I would suggest if you are going to go out, get your seeds, get your garden seeds, because going to need them. I'm sorry you have to go to work, Renee. It's not a holiday for absolutely everybody, is it? It is crazy, eh? What are you seeing in your area? But I was thinking, I'm not worried. I'm vulnerable. I can't have my grandchildren over or my kids or anybody can't really come over anymore because they've all been shopping and shopping and shopping where lots of people are, and you don't know who's got it until 14 days from now, and by then it's going to be a whole lot more. So they say it doubles every 6 days, or it was doubling every 4 days, but I think that because we are self-isolating, it's doubling every 6 days or something. But if I'm not worried, I have peace. I have faith in my Savior, and I just carry on my life. I'm usually pretty self-isolated, and I don't really go to stores very often. We grow and dry a lot of stuff. I've always had a year's supply of food storage, not like fresh apples and everything, but I've got stuff that'll certainly keep us healthy and happy for a year, I would think. Maybe it's a bit depleted. Anyway, it'll be fine for a while. And um but the thing is that I know that my Savior will take care of me. And people that tell me that Christianity is only 2,000 years old and paganism is really the old religion. It's the religion of the earth. It's the religion of, I don't know how it all works, but the universe will give you what you need. And, oh, that's all very lovely. My religion, my relationship with Jesus Christ gives me incredible peace. I'm not worried. I have peace. I'm okay. If I don't have something one day, I'll be okay. The day will pass, the sun will come up and go down. I can distract myself with something else. If I get really sick, well, I get really sick. But he will be there with me. He will always be there with me, helping me through it, giving me ideas of what I need to do next to make my life as good and easy as possible. He will help me with that. Well, if you're pagan, what do you do? Who do you rely on? How do you cast your burdens? Like, if it's up to you to create your own future, if it's up to you to manifest your destiny, if it's up to you to put out good vibes so that good vibes will come back, or um, people say that they made these good things happen to themselves by the way they were thinking. Like, okay, great. Is that giving you peace? Are you worried are you panicked? How do you feel? And I would say that if your religion or your whatever belief system is not giving you peace through this worldwide pandemic and time of big panic and crisis out there, it's like the the day before Christmas, right? The last panic rush. Well, everybody hits the stores on Christmas Eve. Nobody gets worried. We all just do it. Of course, they're stocked up for it. But Anyway, the thing is that if your religion is not giving you peace and an anchor, then maybe you're not looking in the right place. What did you just say? I'm not worried. It is what it is. Just wash hands and face often. And for Pete's sake, don't pick your nose or touch your eyes. And keep your hands out of your mouth. What do you mean a whole year? That's great. I totally agree with what you say about Christ. I think it's true though. Like this is the real difference between somebody with a abiding faith and somebody without. Where do you turn for peace? Where do you turn for comfort? You know? And he's so faithful. He's always there. You can feel him right now. He's here. A little hard for him to be in places where everybody's in a rotten mood. But, you know, you can still talk to him. He's still there. He still hears you. You never get to a point where you can just be talking into into emptiness, because there is no emptiness. His spirit, the spirit of God, moves upon the face of the earth. Isn't that beautiful? The earth rolls upon her wings in the midst of the glory of God. Isn't that beautiful? All is well. God is in his heavens. The sun is coming up. The days are warming up and spring is in the air. It's a wonderful time. It's a beautiful time. Breathe the beautiful air and go for a walk. Look for things that are popping up like the ground. Did you want me singing my song? This is the Newfoundland winter song. Peeing in the snow, looking down the hole is the closest thing I'll ever get to spring. We still have lots of snow out there. It's quite white. But it's melting. It's melting. You know, I went around my deck and I took all the ice and stuff off most of the deck. And wherever I didn't take it off, it's still there. It's still like, I don't know, it's not as deep as it was. It was like a foot and a half. And now it's like 4 inches to 2 inches to 1 inch, you know, but, well, maybe 6 inches under the eaves where it really gets deep, where the whole roof comes up. Well, now I go for walks and there's nobody anywhere. You know, I wave at every car because at least they're human beings. So when you go for a walk, what is it like? Where do you live? I mean, don't have to tell me where you live, but obviously you live in a city, and when you go for a walk, like sometimes you see the streets of New York City that are packed with people, people to people to people. How is that possible? Why are they all walking? Where are they going? Do they all work right there? Have they gotten off a subway and buses? And I can't believe how many people are on the sidewalks. I guess I just don't go to work. You know, I'm just a very spoiled woman. I am a very privileged white person. I am amazed at what a privileged white person I am. And I'm very sorry if my privilege has caused anybody else to not have what they would have had. Anyway. Okay, on to better topics. So now, it's important that you smile and that you laugh. You have to laugh. Let's see, have you heard a good joke lately? You know what? Here, I'll do this for you. Okay, Google, tell me a joke. My Google is not here, but yours is. So is your OK Google telling you a joke? Hi, Jacqueline. So we have people that are here from all over the world, and it's a very interesting time. Like everybody's going home, and everybody's very glad to see each other. Of course, we have to maintain our social distance, but we can still see each other through our cars. Still go to people's doors and stand outside and not go within 6 feet of them. Like we can still be together. We can still look at each other in the eye. That's why you have to look in the camera lens. Right in there. My eyes are so squinty. Willem's are too. So are Daniel's. Ben and Virginia, not so much. Lida looked at one of the pictures on the wall the other day and she said that our eyes and our family look just like that ancestor. Have all these pictures of ancestors. This is kind of come at a oh, you work at an airport. Oh my gosh. Yes, I would quarantine my grandparents too, except that I think I am them now. That's so weird. So we are not to have parents to think of as the older people, you know? But everybody my age is losing their parents. Oh, you know what's going to happen? There's no sports happening, eh? You can't go to restaurants. You can get takeout, but you can't go and have a meal. And there's a lot of television programs are being canceled, and the only topic out there is the coronavirus. And at some point, you get sick of hearing it, and you just want to remember that life used to be good. And so maybe you watch Netflix. And oh, you know what's a good show is Death in Paradise. If you can watch that one, that is so good. It's so funny. It's such a good show. It's very clean, moral. I mean, except there's death and immorality in it. But it's a really clean show, and it takes place in Saint Lucia, which is it's actually filmed on Guadalupe, and so you get to see this wonderful island. Of course, a lot of people probably aren't interested in television now because it's already spring. Like we're the last ones to get it, but March 18th is my mother's birthday was always the spring, the last day of frost. But did you say you can't wait until I can't wait to tell my future kids or grandkids about the worldwide toilet people because of a virus. I can sing, paint, read, talk on the phone, time to reflect. Absolutely. Like just do what you do. Just do your normal life without having to go to work. Just hang out. Play chess. That's what my husband would like to do. He watches bridge on YouTube and chess. Actually, I haven't seen him play chess. He watches bridge all the time now lately. Of course, and he also reads Harry Potter from cover to cover, all 7 books. Is it 7 books? Yes. Every year or so. Sometimes twice a year. Oh, you know what? Like we have a prophet, and our prophet has been telling us for a long time that what is coming is going to be really difficult. You need to know how to grow a garden. You need to garden. You need to have food storage. You need to learn how to survive on less, live on less than you make. Use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. Like we are pretty prepared people. Like whenever there's a disaster, our church is always sending truckloads and airplane loads of stuff to the places because we're prepared, right? We've always been taught to take care of ourselves, be self-reliant. Anyway, so we are. And to the most extent, I have taught my children to be. Not all of them are, but um, I've taught them all how to make bread. They should all be fine if they have a bread maker, or if they don't, they know how to make bread. And making stuff from scratch. I know why there's very few people watching this at 8. It's because people didn't have to wake up to go to work. They didn't have to wake up to get the kids on the bus. The daycare was closed. They couldn't go anywhere. Nothing was happening. It's like an enforced holiday. Do you remember the Ray days? Bob Ray was the premier of Ontario for a while. Looks like I've got a sneer, like I'm curling my lip. Maybe it's just because of the lighting. Anyway, it still looks like that, doesn't it? I should put my teeth in, but I'd have to go find them. I think they're. Anyway, I'm not going to do that yet. Anyway, so the Ray days. Bob Ray, he was the premier of Ontario, and he decided that in order to save money, he would ask every government employee, well, he mandated, so he enforced that every government employee got 1 day was worth less pay every month. So it was like every one Friday a month, nobody got paid. But everybody still had to go to work. Those were called the Ray days. Can you imagine? I mean, that's a little overstepping his bounds, I think. He also did all terrible things to the health system. He cut funding to it drastically, and it's never been the same since. I think that was him. NDP, was it? Bob Ray? I don't know. But that's another thing. Like, are people blaming each other now? Like, I mean, I don't know how you can not know this is going on, but if you just found out and you went to the store and you tried to go and get your regular groceries and you see that there's no toilet paper and you get angry and you think everybody is hoarding toilet paper, but people know that there's not going to be, life as we know it is going to shut down for about a month. So you got to be ready to stay home for a month. So, how much toilet paper do you need in a month? You better get a month's worth of toilet paper because, right? So that's what people are thinking. Just like when you go camping, you're going to need stuff for 3 weeks because you're going camping for 3 weeks. So you buy all the stuff you need. And we're just used to buying what we need. And, I think that. So the reactions, I was going to say, the reactions of people to each other, getting mad at each other because somebody else bought the stuff and you don't have any because you didn't happen to notice that this was going on or whatever, right? Not everybody watches the news. But for many people, it doesn't change. Like I called Mary yesterday in Connecticut. She lives up on the Appalachian Trail. And there's a bear, and he comes walking up the driveway like that's the normal way to get to this house. And he comes walking up, and he goes to the front yard, and he sits down on something kind of high, and he tips the bird food into his lap, bird feeder or whatever, and he sits there and he eats it, or he tips it over so he can get to it all. And so she's busy taking videos of this bear. I mean, like that's what life is. Go on, do life, right? But people that are getting angry at other people, and this is a bad thing, right? We have to be really, really kind and happy and loving and helpful. If you know somebody doesn't have something and you have enough or more, then you share, right? I'm not sure how much I shared. If I shared too much, I was thinking that as I was sharing some yesterday. I was thinking, oh, I hope I'm going to still have enough. But anyway, if I don't have enough, I'll deal with it. I mean, all of our ancestors before us dealt with it. We talk about the natives and their indigenous culture and they've lost their history. Well, haven't we white people lost our history? Or are we inhabitants of this continent? We've lost our history. We've lost how to make soap and how to weave and spin and make baskets. I'm about to make my first spring basket. I was out in the woods and I took some bark off of a tree and just a strip of cedar going up. And it was a tree that had no branches on that side, and it was leaning against other trees. So anyway, um, so I'm going to use some of that, and I'm going to use some so that's cedar bark, and I'm going to use some willow bark, and I'm going to use some birch bark that's just fallen this winter. All these will be, and then I'm going to use some willow. It'll cut all this fresh, and I'll make the basket. I'll have to take my basket making basket with me when I go to the woods today. If you go down in the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise. 'Cause this is a day. No. If you go down in the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise. 'Cause every day, every bear that ever there was is gathered there together because today is the day the teddy bears have their picnic. I had a picnic with Willem in the woods yesterday by the stream. We sat on the snow. It's very interesting. I mean, on our chairs on the snow. It'll be very interesting to see what the landscape looks like once the snow has disappeared. It's kind of hard to see my path. You know, my path is kind of obscured now that the snow is gone and it's not gone. In some places, you fall into your knee. In other places, there's water showing, and it's very hard. In the morning, very hard. Like it was negative 11 last night. I know. What do you think about that? I know you people down there in the south and the west and the east, but not the north. In the north, you know. So I say this is going to be a really big baby boom coming. I wonder what they will be called. Like we were the baby boomers, which were after the war. And the next generation has a grudge against us. Do you know that? Like, I didn't even know that until I saw something about OK Boomer or something. It's like no respect. Like, we respected our parents. You would never say anything nasty to your parents. But this generation is totally different. Just like back in 1600 when they nailed that document to the wall, or 1300 or 10, something about when the children were disobedient and arrogant and all these blah, 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 blah. It's the same world, right? Oh, you know what Willem read yesterday? It was really interesting. It was, um, it was about, it's amazing how I can just talk and not even take a breath for all this time, 38 minutes. I'm the perfect video tuber. This is the perfect video. It's just whatever comes to mind comes right out. It's like verbal diarrhea. I shouldn't say that. So, what was I going to tell you about now? Darn, that was going to be a really good one too. Oh yeah, I told you about not being angry with each other. Oh, yeah, you know what I found out? Being to labor in wickedness is a very interesting phrase. I don't know if you read the scriptures much, you may have seen that phrase. You know, they do labor much in wickedness. And okay. Um, well, if you're smiling, then it's worth it because a lot of people aren't smiling lately. They forgot how to smile. If you really need to smile, you take a pencil and you put it in your mouth, and it'll force your mouth into smile. Another thing to do is to think of the things you're grateful for. I'm grateful that there's a light there and that it works, that there's electricity. I'm grateful that there's a bed here and I can lie on it and nobody can really hear me. You know, when I'm up here, and this used to be Elida's room, it's all it's a big room now, eh? And um, and she always, from up here, you can hear everything that goes on downstairs, but when you're downstairs, you cannot hear a single thing that goes on up here. It's phenomenal, unbelievable. I had no idea. No wonder she felt like she was living in a glass bubble, right? If you can hear everything from downstairs and think that everything that you can, not only can you be completely seen, But if you could be completely heard, I had no idea. Anyway, we never heard her very much. She sang really loud. I could hear her, but that was all. And I could only just hear her. It wasn't like it was loud. Or if she yelled at the kids real loud, I could hear that. So I didn't hear from her often. So I had some big thing I was saying, wasn't I? Oh yeah, be grateful. Think of the things you're grateful for, even if you don't think you're grateful. Think of the things you have. Say thank you that I have a roll of toilet paper. I have a piece of toast, or whatever it is. Just say thank you. And all of your other things will go away. Hey, you know what? That's actually a very profound thing. You cannot be angry and thankful at the same time. So when somebody's feeling angry, ask them what they're grateful for. It'll take them a second to transition. But they can't be angry and thankful at the same time. But laboring in wickedness means, this is very interesting because what it says, what it is that when the people are righteous, they work for full days and they're honest and they pay a good amount and they work their good amount and they put out and they help each other and they think of all the things people do when they're righteous. They don't steal. They so now when you're laboring in wickedness, so if you're being honest with everybody, you never have to worry about who found out what you really meant or what you really did or really said. You don't have to keep a lid on anything. So that's hard work, right? Not letting anybody find out that you lied about something. Or that you took something. And if everybody is righteous, you don't need a police force. You don't need home locks, car locks, security systems, security guards, armies, police forces. If everybody is righteous and good, you don't need any of that. Wickedness costs money. It costs the whole system money. And if a person is not being honest and honorable and upstanding, well, for instance, they end up in jails, which costs the system money, right? Wickedness is very expensive. And when you labor in wickedness, you get a very bad return for your effort. You really don't get a lot of happiness and true friends and peace of mind and peace of conscience and contentness. Laboring in wickedness is a kind of hard work. Like if you got to go steal for your stuff, like just say for instance, let's say you're a bank robber. You got to go steal for your stuff all the time. Well, you got to make sure that you're not going to get caught, right? You got to always be looking over your shoulder. Can you imagine? I mean, even if you're stealing your kids, your big brother's money off his dresser, right? Like you got to keep a lid on it. You got to can't let anybody know. You got to be worried when somebody's talking to you that they're not about to tell you that they found out. When you hear your name called and they're yelling, oh no, they're going to find, whatever, I'm going to catch it now. So, being dishonest, you got a lot you got lying on your resume, right? You got a lot to worry about. What if somebody finds out? The whole castle could crumble down, So, it's a lot, when there's wickedness, it's a lot more work. People who are generally wicked, like bank robbers or just people, they soak the system, right? They are not contributing to the growth of everything. They're not giving jobs with good benefits. They're not Um, they might be lurking in alleys or whatever. Camera's gonna die. It's looking very jumpy. See if I have a plug-in up here somewhere anymore. I seem to move them every day. So we have to see, look at that skin falling off my face. It's not there, and it's not there. And I do, oh, look, there it is over there. We just have to keep up with it. Maybe we should sit here and watch the sunshine. These windows are so filthy. I think they're all filthy on the outside. I think I maybe should clean the windows. What do you think? Should do something. Do something productive. Make a difference. Oh, and you know what? If you can't go see somebody that is, you want to be helpful. Like, I want to be helpful. And I feel like I live in this resort. And I get to do all this amazing stuff all the time. And not everybody does. And, sit out in the peaceful woods. I don't have to deal with crap everywhere and people pushing each other and shoving. And when you want to go for a walk, you can't go for a walk because you're going to be closer than 6 feet to the people around you. My heart goes out to you. I don't know what it's like. Imagine what it's like. But sometimes I feel like I should do something to help. I can't go visit Lori in the nursing home, I can't go help my kids and my grandkids out. I gotta isolate myself. But I can video my grandchildren. I'm trying to do that now. I love my grandchildren. And you can't make meals and take meals to people, but you can message them. You can use the telephone. Do you remember the telephone? Yeah, you can telephone people that don't have, like your grandparents. Check them out. See if they're okay. Or your parents. Phone them. Because you know what? It's lonely when you have to self-isolate. Are you lonely? How many of you are lonely now? I was out there, I walked along the road because I wanted to be able to wave at people in cars. Me, Miss Isolationist. Like, I'm always isolated. For years, the only person I ever saw was the bus driver and the folks at church. And Willem does the groceries for me now anyway. But not more. He's not allowed to go out. He's not allowed to go there. My daughter came and they didn't come in. They stayed 6 feet away from us on the deck. Like, I don't think they have it. But they've been to town and into every store. They're looking for stuff and relating where things are and what's not there. And that's a lot of possibility of spreading something that's already out there. We just don't know how big it is, right? We don't know. We won't know for 4 days or for 5 days or whatever it is. 14, I guess. The last place I went to the store the other day. I did go to 2 stores, actually. I covered my face when I was near people, and I had a wipe in my hand, and I did my handle thing, and I had to wipe my face. I was coughing. I put that in my face, and I got a new one, and it's a chronic cough, right? It's not anything bad. But it becomes a pre-existing condition, right? Like, I've always been susceptible to bronchitis. If I get a cold, like, I don't eat dairy because it'll give me colds, and I have a huge thing with dairy. I get really sick and head cold and bronchitis. It goes on and on. It takes months if I get sick. But I don't usually go around anybody in the winter. Okay, see you later, Renee. Nice to see you. Have a good day. And everybody else out there that's got to go to work. So, do you guys have the day off now because the kids don't have to go to school and you can't go to work? Is it everything shut down? I really felt bad telling my daughter I couldn't babysit the grandchildren. That was a terrible thing to do. You know, hey, look, blue sky. How's that? You know, when you watch World War II movies, you always think, and these bubonic plague and the Spanish flu, that's back in the days when the world was black and white, right? Well, guess what? It was in color then too. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I don't know if on D-Day was it a blue sky, was, but to have these beautiful warm, I mean, we were in the middle of maple tapping season. You know, I should probably tap my trees just to do it. Then I'd have to gather it, lug it around, boil it. Takes a lot of gallons to make a pint. 40 gallons of sap make 1 gallon of syrup. Anyway, so that's going on in the woods over here. They just put their buckets on yesterday. Most of the people have had their buckets on a little while, I think. We've had a few really good weeks of tapping weather. And then it went one day, it was warm all day and night. And then next day, we're back into up and down and up and down. It barely went up yesterday. I think it hit 0. Anyway, it's funny when people talk about their gardens. I'm starting some seeds, but still a long time before we have our last frost. 1st of June or something. They say it's the 24th of May, but you get a frost. Middle of June is a safe time for warm, loving things, I think. Boy, but I got lots of plans for my garden this year. Wasn't that inspiration last year to build all those garden beds? So you're going to need a garden, right? You better plant a garden. If you don't have any idea how to do it, look it up on YouTube. Try and figure it out. Ask somebody who belongs to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because they've been taught that they should have a garden for the last 200 years. Actually, it's 200 years next month. Back when they were first having gardens. It's always been important to the Lord that we be able to sustain ourselves. Know the plants, know the weeds in your garden. There's a website called Eat the Weeds. Boy, this whole thing may help people to have more appreciation for the natural things that are growing, that we can live off of. It's like the apocalypse or something. Nah, that's going to be really bad. I started to watch a movie. It was a 1995 virus. I think it was The Outbreak. Yeah, it was a movie. It was after a novel, so it wasn't a true story. And I watched it for a while, and then I thought, I better not watch this, because you know what? I'm going to confuse things. I'm going to get confused with the facts of this virus and this time and the coverage and all this stuff. I'm going to get that all confused with this plot, which has some subversive, these people with the same strain are infected in 5 different areas around the globe within a few days of each other. And, the only place that strain comes from is in the CDC. The only thing interesting that was relevant about that place was to see what it's like inside the CDC building. Anyway, that was called Virus 1995 on YouTube. They can't call it whatever the name of it really is, because YouTube will take it down for copyright infringement. There's some links I get now and then that give these, like, one link that said that men are being told to shave their beards because of the coronavirus. I tried to follow the link to read it, and it had been removed. And I wondered if Facebook had been removing this as part of there's hoax stuff out there. I don't know how they can figure it, but I guess their algorithms can do all kinds of stuff. Wow, I think I can see the pond from here. Wow, I know I can see the Serenity Dippity Pond. Let's see, I'll turn you around. Oh, I mean this pond here. This one I can see, that's Fiddlehead Pond. Okay, now there's another pond. Okay, so I gotta move all these words. Can't move the words. Don't know how to get rid of them. Okay, unless you just leave it alone. Okay, I want to see if I can see. So in that dark area, right there, I think that part up there, where's my finger? Where's my finger? I think that might be the pond. I think that the stream is really flooded now, and that I'm actually seeing it. I want to take the screen off this window, because I don't like looking through screens. See, it's easier to see through when there's no screen. And sometimes I need to see things like that. But if I do take the screen off, I can't open this in the summertime. Look at this. I'm going to show you from this window over here something else. Look at this. You see where the sun is landing there? That's the top of the hill. That's what's outside my window. I have a valley down there with a stream in it. It's called the Sometimes Stream or something. I forget what we call it. Anyway, it lasts about 3 days, every year. So this is where the deer sleep up there, and look at it, it's all ice. All ice. Because most of the snow is melted, and now we have just the ice and the snow. So spring is such a time of hope, you know. Plant your seeds, get a garden in. Because you won't be able to buy vegetables if you have to be worried about who died well enough to take them to the store. Anyway. Trying to turn you around. There you are. All right, well, I don't know what else to say. I think I'm getting a little stir crazy, so I'm gonna go. Bye. Enjoy your day, and don't be worried. And if you are worried, you have to re-evaluate your religion, because your religion should help you through this.